3. Yo, yo, yo. Ida Lawrence. What? Ida, where you been, fam? Welcome back to the show. KW Qurat? I don't know. Look, I don't know if that's a name or this is an acronym. Yo, I don't know what that is. But I'm going to give you a shout out, fam. Here we go. Shout out to this person, B1. B1 Qurat. Because that could be an acronym. I'm not sure. Anthony. What's up, Anthony McDowell? Arlene Chambers. Black Diamond in the house, shining brightly. Shine bright like a diamond. Chris P. I think I got Chris already. We get him again. That's what we do. Yeah, man. We in the house, man. Thank you, AT. What's up, AT? How you doing, fam? Thank you. Bruce Newsom in the building. Yeah. Robert Dalton came through. And look, Robert brought our Channel Dunbar in the house. I'll take it, you know. Serious goddess in the house. Party people. Man, thank y'all for coming through, man. Give it up for those people, man. Yeah, we do what we do, man. We do what we do, man. Yo, how many of y'all seen this video? I saw this video by a young man by the name of Donnell Wrights. How many of y'all seen this video? It's on TikTok. I also found it on YouTube. The name of the brother, young brother doing it is Donnell Wrights. And I'm going to tell y'all, man, this was a very poignant video. Now, I heard people like promoting it like for the past week or so. So, sister I follow, I think her name is, God, can't think of her name. Lovely or lively, something lively. Lively. Sister with like 10 degrees, you know, real down sister. I rock with her on TikTok. I've used her contents once before. So amazing she is. And she recommended it. So when she recommended something, I was like, you know, I got to check this out. But I got him, and it was some other people that like popped it up, kept popping it up. I was like, well, it was early in my day, and I was like, I got time. Because I heard this video was long, right? It's 45 minutes long. People said it was what you call a TikTok-umentary. A talk-umentary, right? And what it is, it's a curation. It ain't just a talk and hit video. It's a curation of a bunch of clips. And I want to tell you, it's highly recommended. Highly recommended, because what it is, it's the focus is the game. And here in DC, you know, I've heard people like when I first got to DC, as far as in the business, when I first got my first job going downtown to DC, and I was around brothers, you know, that were like trying to get their money, you know, and you know, wearing a shirt. At the time, couldn't afford a tie, you know what I'm saying? Had the shirt, no tie, you know. When I was real young in the game, you know. And there was a couple brothers that went to, like, one of my best friends went to Hampton University. He used to say to me, you gotta play the game, brother. Because I ain't know, man, I'm just being real, you know, I'm just being myself. You gotta play the game. So, you know, I became acclimated to this term, the game, and what it meant for me is things you gotta do in order to stay alive or to stay employed or to stay married or to stay, you know, cool with the people on your block, or, you know what I'm saying, or stay out of jail. You know, these things, you got to play the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to do what's necessary to stay on top. And that's what this video is about. It's about the game. And I don't want to give too much away. I want to leave the curiosity there for you, but I'm going to say it's one of the best pieces of content that I've seen so far this year. And believe it or not, I've seen a lot of content for just 3 months in, because that's what I do. And I do have to make an apology, okay? I must apologize, because originally when I watched the Kendrick Lamar halftime extravaganza, I was expecting more. You know, I was expecting more, you know, because I talk a certain kind of way, you know. No decoder ring needed. I come out here and I tell people, I say, look, I'm advocating for Black Americans. Black Americans got to get the hell out of the Democratic Party. We've been voting Democrat almost exclusively for 50 years. We've been doing the same thing, going in and pulling the same lever. And every time you go in and pull a lever, it's coming up the same, D's all the way across. Hell, I remember when I first voted, I didn't know who was on the ballot. Just vote D all the way down. Vote D all the way down, all the way down. That's what Black people do. A lot of Black people do that. Who hasn't done that? So, you know, I'm real blunt. I say, you know, we got to stop doing that. We got to start using our bargaining chips. And I've been on this for quite some time, but I've never crystallized it. It never was all for my own. Like, look, I'm separating from any group think. I'm away from the progressives. They don't like me much, and I'm fine with that. And I'm away from all, I'm not with the conservatives, I'm not with the liberals, I'm not with the progressives. I'm just over here. I'm Tim Black. I'm with Black people. See how I talk? I'm real blunt. I'm real straight to the point. But what I learned from this documentary is that Brother Lamar had a lot to say. And he said a lot. It was callbacks to Gil Scott-Heron, which I know, that's obvious. The revolution won't be televised. But there were other things in there. You know, other gems, you know? And it's not just that. It's like the trajectory of hip-hop, surviving this system, and brothers and sisters, what they've been doing all this time, dating back to as early as the 50s, were covered in this documentary about the art form and about just surviving America. And I gotta say, you know, I want to apologize for my earlier comment on Kendrick. You know, I remember when I was coming up, I used to look at my dad and I think, damn, man, my dad is so behind. Like, he don't know what's going on, you know? He's slipping. You know what I'm saying? And I don't mean that in a bad way. He knew stuff I didn't know, of course. But as far as like what was happening in the world when I was coming up, I felt like he wasn't in tune with that. You know what I'm saying? And he got old. You know, you get old. In the day when I was watching this documentary, this documentary, I realized I got old, you know? Yeah, I got old too. I'm my dad. You know, because of my son, you know, I'm like, yo, I feel bad about, I feel bad, like, you know, I didn't shit on Kendrick Lamar, but I just thought, like, what y'all praising him so much for? What's he saying? That's because you're not talking like I would talk. See, I talk the way to get you canceled. The way I talk don't get you invited to none of the parties. You damn sure don't get no Grammys if you talk like Tim Black. Because I'm going to go up and say, hey, stop bombing the Palestinians. Cut that shit out. You know, don't do that. You put me on the stage, I'm going to say it. I'm going to say, hey, get the boot off our neck. I'm going to call out the white supremacists. I'm going to call out the haters. I'm going to call out the Democratic Party. I'm going to call out all the, you know, the people trying to hold us back. I'm going to call out the people that sell us out. I'm just going to be naming names and, you know, calling it all out right to its face, to the whole world. And that's not how everybody else, they don't operate that way. They play the game. They play the game. You know, and they use different language and different ways to articulate it. And maybe that's best because of, you see what they do when you sound like X-Clan, when you sound like Public Enemy, when you sound like Brand Nubian, you go away. And we don't need Kendrick Lamar to go away. You know, we need him to stay doing what he's doing. So he don't need to sound like me, and he don't need to be as blunt as me, and that don't mean he's not real, you know? Sometimes us old heads think we know. We don't know, you know? And that's okay too. Yeah, that's okay too. But yeah, I want to give it up for that brother, man. Donnell Wrights. Go find him on TikTok. Go find him on YouTube as well and peep it out. It's an amazing piece of work. And it's anything that makes people stop and think, you know, and question their belief systems and just think for a moment. Don't get it twisted, man. I think we all on the right side. Like I feel like I'm on the same side. I'm where I need to be as far as what side I'm on, you know, but others who have their they have their own way of demonstrating that. You know, some people are artistic. They're artistic with it. And Kendrick Lamar is definitely an artist. And I really appreciate the artistry of his lyrics more now. When somebody kind of slowed it down for me and put it in a different format and showed the breadcrumbs and not just the video, not just the performance, but tied the whole thing together. Look, and you got to go see you really got to see the TikTocumentary. You got to see the documentary to know what I'm saying. And once you watch it, you'll get what I'm coming from. It'll make more sense to you. So give it up for that, y'all. Yeah. And tonight, we got some content for you tonight, folks. As you know, the show is brought to you by the Tim Black Legacy Mug. It's available now, limited supplies. They keep hitting me up like, you want some more of these? Well, y'all stop bugging my damn phone. I know they're not watching. But the people I bought these mugs from, man, Jesus Christ, make me want to give you a burner number, you know? What's wrong with people? I know where you at if I want more. That's beside the point. I'm sorry. These are my frustrations. I don't mean to put that on you. It's Friday night. Ignore that. The Tim Black Legacy Mug is Politics for the People. That's the name of it. Politics for the People. It's written on the bottom here. And dishwasher safe, microwave safe. And it's about standing up for what we believe in. You know what I'm saying? Not to mention it sells the show. It spreads the word about the show. That's really why I did it. So go to timblackmug.com, order yours. It's 20 to your door. 20 to your door. I'll pay for the shipping. You know, where I come from, like, people like even numbers. They don't like tax. They don't want no tax. Even numbers. So anyway, $20 to your door. I handle shipping no matter where you are in the country. And yeah. So thank you for that. Man, what a night, guys. As you can see, I got the topics on the board over there, folks. Kamala 2028, Gavin grilled, Angela Rye snaps, Trump talks Elon, and Newsom Walz on manliness. This can't be real. Went into my Cat Williams voice. This can't be real. I know you can't be serious. Them two, jazz hands, and the creepy uncle. Okay, guys, we're going to get into it, man. I want to thank everybody for being here. Hit the like button. Our goal tonight is 400 likes. It ain't for bragging purposes. It's for that damn algorithm. Let the algorithm know that the Tim Black Show is shareable, likable, and if you engage with the content, that sends signs to the algorithm. That's how they say it works. I'm old. I don't know. I'm old. I don't know if that's how it works. That's what they say. That's what the youngins told me to do. He told me just to make them hit the like button. Hit the like button, you young bastard. Yeah, baby. So where are we at? Are we ready for some content, man? Yeah. You ready, Tim Black? I feel like I've been cursed, you know? With all these good looks, you know? Nah, man, you know what I'm saying? I'm the guy that, you know, I make you laugh. Yeah. Tim funny. Yeah, I always wanted to be the handsome guy. Turned out being the funny looking guy. But you know, you use what you got. Guys, use what you got, you know? Y'all ready, man? Oh, damn, it'd be nice if I added some content to the board, huh? Let's get some content over here, Tim Black. All this talking, you didn't add your video over here yet. Well, we will, though, Johnson. We will. We got we'll go here with part one for right now. All right, folks, let's do it. First story.
Next on deck with Tim Black.
So let's talk about the word Latinx. Just 2 weeks ago, here's what he said about it.
By the way, not one person ever in my office has ever used the word Latinx.
So can we finally put that to bed?
Yeah,
we agree.
where did that even
No
go?
more Latinx,
like,
everybody.
Well, I just didn't even know where it came from. I'm like, what are people talking about?
But there was a person who used Latinx. It was actually a really important person. It was him. right?
Yeah, that's right. And look, these aren't minor shifts. These are progressive issues that Gavin Newsom used to champion until fairly recently. And now he's not just walking away from them. He's sort of acting like they were never legitimate with that clip talking about Latinx in the first place. But let's take Latinx. We did find somebody who used it repeatedly in his office. Let's take a listen to this.
I hope we can really paint a picture in terms of our consciousness of how impactful this has been on the Latinx community. The Latinx and Black communities. You've got politicians that are banning not assault rifles, but the word Latinx. They're not even serious.
Next on deck with Tim Black.
Oh shit, man. Hold up, hold tight, man. When that happened, Buck? Damn, Johnson. When this happened, brother? I just got a notice. I just got a text that George Foreman has passed away. Okay. Well, damn, that changes things. Why do I suddenly feel sad, man? For I mean, it's not like I knew him, but I felt like I knew him a little bit. Never met him. Wow, that's stunning news, man. Thank you for the update. Yeah, okay. Ladies and gentlemen, George Foreman has passed away. That's the news we just got, and we all know he was a great boxer, but more than that, a great businessman, philanthropist, done a lot for his people. For boxing and for Black Americans as well. And just the image that an athlete doesn't have to just be an athlete. He can also be a businessman and turn later and become more like an icon, which is what George Foreman is and will always be remembered as. A gentleman's gentleman in a lot of ways and an innovator in the space. So gone but never forgotten. We'll say George Foreman will be remembered. Yeah, rest in peace, George Foreman, y'all. Come on now, give it up for George Foreman. Man. Wow. Okay. Well, look, guys, let's do this segment over. Yeah, start over because I kind of lost track of what I was talking about there. That's heavy stuff, man. My condolences to his family and friends. All right, rest easy, my brother. All right. So this clip that we just ran, it was a clip of Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom's not doing so well. Things aren't going too well for Gavin Newsom. And you know what else I noticed? I was pointing this out to a friend today. I was like, look, the Democrats, they go after and smear anybody. You could be on their team. You could wear the same jersey. Step out of line, and the knives come out. Yeah, see, what I believe that happened here with Gavin Newsom is more than meets the eye. Here goes a segment that CNN did with Gavin Newsom, or for Gavin Newsom, where they are roasting this brother. Roasting him. Check it out.
Not one person ever in my office has ever used the word Latinx.
So can we finally put that to bed?
Yeah,
we agree.
Where did that even
No
go?
more Latinx, everybody.
Well, I just didn't even know where it came from. I'm like, what are people talking about?
But there was a person who used Latinx. It was actually a really important person. It was him. Right?
Yeah, that's right. And look, these aren't minor shifts. These are progressive issues that Gavin Newsom used to champion until fairly recently. And now he's not just walking away from them. He's sort of acting like they were never legitimate with that clip talking about Latinx in the first place. But let's take Latinx. We did find somebody who used it repeatedly in his office. Let's take a listen to this.
I hope we can really paint a picture in terms of our consciousness of how impactful this has been on the Latinx community. The Latinx and Black communities. You've got politicians that are banning not assault rifles, but the word Latinx. They're not even serious.
Oh God, that's embarrassing as hell, Johnson. I don't know. That's I don't know how you bounce back from that too well. Yeah, you got exposed as being a total fraud there, Gavin. I mean, not that people needed help. You know what I'm saying? Not that they needed help figuring out that. I mean, if you were sitting around going, oh no, that Gavin Newsom guy seems to be the genuine article. Yeah, man, it seems to me like Gavin Newsom, that's a down-ass brother. If you were sitting around thinking that, I mean, you already, you 5 cans short of a 6-pack. Like, I don't know who, other than Sonny Hostin on The View, that ever thought that Gavin Newsom was worth anything. I mean, come on now, just ask the reparations task force over there in California what they think about the guy. Come on. Californians can't stand him. Who likes Gavin Newsom? I think Gavin Newsom's the only person that really likes Gavin Newsom. But, so this is not about caping for Gavin Newsom at all. All right? This is about what the Democrats do, man. Look, man, remember, this is the Democrats that are doing this. Yeah, the Democrats are going after Gavin Newsom, and I believe it's because Gavin Newsom just got out of line. See, there's several factions in the Democratic Party. There's the Kamala Harris faction. There's a Gavin Newsom faction. There's, Obama wing, which is something totally different, right? So there's different, groups with power. And so I think what it is that they see Gavin Newsom making a play for 2028. They're like, oh, no, you don't, Johnson. Oh, no, you don't. We got to shut this shit down immediately. So what they've done is they said, we're going to smear him. And then you'll see Kamala's people I think it's Kamala's people, they put the word out, open fire on Gavin Newsom. Open fire. So I saw the ladies at The View go at him first. He sat down with Charlie Kirk. He said, screw y'all. I'm going to go do what I want to do. And it's clear to me that what we have here is an opportunity for us to get in front of this and beat the brakes off Kamala because, she ain't black anyway. She Indian, and it's obvious that she is trying to pretend like she's something that she isn't. And I think that she, should go ahead and sit down and, do something else, something different because, how we do when we do what we do. But see, Gavin, but I'm just pointing out that they're coming for his neck. He's not protecting his neck, Johnson. Now he put his neck all the way out. He extended his neck extra far. He like, go ahead and get me here. Hit me here. Yeah, he's trying to remodel himself in real time and contradict his own self. You know what I'm saying? How much coke is he doing? I mean, what really going on? You know what I'm saying? Well, you don't remember that you were using Latinx. I still don't know what it means. Yeah, last time I checked. So I don't agree with the term. I think the term is bogus. I know people from Puerto Rico. I know people from the Dominican. I know people from Mexico. I know people from, Guatemala. Like, it's different people, right? I never thought they all wanted to be considered Latinx. They from different countries. There's no, African X, Nigerians, Guyana, Ghana, all these places. You name all the places. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot of different places. Congolese and, all this stuff. Tether Island. I don't know. It's just a lot of different. There's a lot of different people. And, it's no Africa X. You know what I'm saying? So I can't imagine why. This is something that some liberal Democrat cooked up over wine, over box wine, over, having a party playing Scrabble or something, watching reruns of, Clinton debates, it's just whatever, reruns of Sex of the City or something, whatever spinoff that came out of that, Friends, Marathon, all the liberals get together and Yeah, so it's bad. Gavin Newsom is in hot water over a horrible term, and he's come to his senses. That's another thing. Was he lying then, or is he lying now? You know? And I tend to believe, like, with this particular issue, for him, I think he's lying both times. Yeah, because he's a shapeshifter. You know, those people don't stand on anything. I still think Latinx is a bogus term. I think he got caught, he got burnt, he got roasted for it, but I do not believe that this is a big deal. Nah, no one cares. No one will care. Yeah, no one will care. No one will care. And look, and this leads me right into my next segment, guys. Hit the like button as we move on. And I'm about to prove my point. Because Kamala Harris is in the running, folks. They're already counting it.
But the word Latinx, they're not even serious.
Next on deck with Tim Black.
Be next. There it is next. Kamala Harris is picked as Democrats' runaway 2028 favorite in new poll. That's right, folks. Morning Consult just did a poll. And in that poll, they had Kamala Harris running away from the pack, Johnson. Real talk, man. It is not even close. It's not even close. They said they asked Democrats and Democrat-leaning independents who would they support if the 2028 presidential election were here today. And by far, by a landslide, they chose Kamala Harris. So, yeah, it's 4 months after losing the 2024 election to Trump. Harris leads the competition. She led a pack of 19 candidates with the support of 36%. So you can see here, number 2 was Pete Buttigieg with only 10%. So Kamala got 36, Buttigieg got 10, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez got 8, Tim Walz with another 8, and Gavin Newsom with another 8. And I think the person that they fear out of those next 4, Gavin Newsom. Yeah, Gavin Newsom, because he's white. He got jazz hands, right? And that's the reasons. And he's already out front doing his work, putting in the work in. You know, and I don't think America's really ready for Pete Buttigieg. I don't think they are. Yeah, I think it's safe to say he's going to run into a lot of difficulty. For one, he's phony. He doesn't scream authenticity or even say authenticity, so he's in the same boat as Gavin. But come on, man. You're going to go from Trump to Pete Buttigieg? I don't think that's going to happen. That don't even make sense to me. Not in this country. I don't see it happening. I didn't like Pete Buttigieg before I knew his sexuality, his orientation, and now that I know it's going to be an uphill battle for him. Because I just don't think. I think Kamala could have got elected if Kamala would have had better policies. If she'd have been talking some policy stuff, and she'd have been more populist and less in the cocoon, and actually could command the microphone, I think she would have had a better chance of defeating Donald Trump. I think her loss is on her. I think America is more willing to elect a woman before they elect a Pete Buttigieg, a member of the LGBT. That's what I believe. This is where I think America is right now. But this says a lot. They say it's unclear if Harris is even going to run in 2028. You know, I was looking at this list, and there are names I didn't even see on this list. Notably, no Jasmine Crockett. You mean to tell me Jasmine Crockett's been out here making a damn fool of herself? Almost on Minstrel Show Avenue? Or right around the corner from Minstrel Show Avenue. She right there. Come on now. You mean all this she's been doing, and she ain't even on the radar? She's behind Cory Booker? Huh? Yeah. Think about that. Yeah. People were laughing. They were laughing at Byron Donalds because they said, Byron Donalds didn't get picked for. He did not get picked for a cabinet position. Well, I'm looking at this survey here, and I think you can laugh at Jasmine Crockett for not even making the list. She ain't even on the list, man. That's embarrassing. All that work she's been putting in. Yeah, Johnson. Yeah, that just goes to show you. I firmly believe, there are white Americans in the Democratic Party, so I'll say liberals, white liberals. They like to see a black woman acting ass, do all that sister girl shit, do all the neck twitching, do all the loud and all that stuff. They like that. They like how Jasmine Crockett is cosplaying a black woman from the hood, but they ain't gonna vote for her ass. They like to see you roast somebody as long as it ain't them, as long as you ain't talking to their kids that way, or their husbands that way, as long as you talk to somebody else, and as long as they don't like them. But if Jasmine Crockett ever said anything out the way at anybody they like, she's gone. Oh, they'll raise money. They'll have bridge games at Ethel's house where they roast her and talk shit about her. Oh, man, it'll be over. That's why you don't jump out the room with the liberal whites. Don't do it. That's exactly what she's doing. And as you can see, there is no dividends. None. Andy Bashir. Yeah, I heard good things about Andy. I think he's out there in Kentucky, isn't he? I heard good things about him. He ain't have anywhere near the publicity that Jasmine Crockett has. Hell, nobody on this list gets as much airtime as Jasmine Crockett, and she ain't even in the top 10. And we're talking 2%. Amy Klobuchar has more votes for 2028 than Jasmine Crockett. But see, when I say, hey, Jasmine Crockett's making a fool of her damn self, and it's for no reason, you don't go to Rutgers to come out here and talk like Glorilla, to act like Glorilla. But hey, who am I to say that? Who cares what I say, right? I'm just hating on the sister. Now, maybe I'm more helpful than you. Maybe. Because you want your adrenaline boost no matter where you can get it. You want your dopamine fix. You want to feel good living vicariously through this woman, showing her ass like that, talking like she don't have common sense, and then it doesn't help her at all. Okay? Not in their career. I mean, she can go on a show, and they want her to act crazy when she get there, too. She was on somebody's show. They was like, you're not going to turn it up a little bit? Not going to put no sauce on it, Jasmine? She's like, no, I want to be myself. I have a law degree. I'm a practicing lawyer. I'm a lawmaker. Like, I thought you were, thought you were fun, Got no jokes for us? Hey, guys, move the furniture around. Let her do a dance. Don't you do a dance like you did on the, I saw the video. You were jumping around, dancing and stuff, doing the duck lips. Wasn't you doing duck lips, Senator? I'm sorry, Congressperson? Yeah. Do you twerk too? So you can do that. Stop playing. Hey, guys, come here, move the tables around. Let Congressman Jasmine Crockett drop it like it's hot. Let her throw them bowls. Let her do a thing, man. Do your thing, girl. You know what I'm saying? You got a couple ones on me. I'm just saying, she opened herself up to this type of nonsense, and it's not even who she is. And I'm showing you evidence. I'm showing you evidence that it ain't helping her career. It's helping her popularity, it's helping her awareness, but they're not thinking about her as a leadership capacity. They're thinking about her as a loud person that sits in the back that they pull out like a pit dog. They're thinking about her the same way they thought about Simone Sanders. When Simone Sanders tackled the guy at the thing, they said, oh, this is great, she's security. They weren't thinking, let's give her a great job using her brain. They said, you get this big burly sister out here, the big sister, the one with the shoulders on it, the big thighs. Let's get out here to defend Jill next time something happens. Not for what's in here, right? Not for what's in here. See, what I'm saying is a lot of times we get caught up. We get caught up in, part of being the truth teller is telling the truth. That's the thing about being a truth teller, and people don't want to hear that shit. They want to live in la-la land. They also think they know everything. I already started the show off telling you I don't, okay? But I'm here to fight for black people, even people like Jasmine Crockett, who got their wires crossed. Them people ain't doing nothing but using her. She thinks she's using them back, but to what end? To do what? What you trying to do? Now, I thought you wanted to be a politician. If not, If you want to, drop a podcast, do an OnlyFans or some shit, okay, fine. I get it. Become an influencer. I thought you wanted to become a lawmaker, maybe be president one day or something. I don't know. Be a senator, governor or something. That's what I thought you wanted to do. My bad. I'm tripping. There I go, thinking you wanted to be serious, take it serious. My bad. Who am I? I'm me, I got, I don't even have a associate's, but I got some hard knock experience. Yeah. I got some hard knock experience, and I'm doing this. I'm doing this for a while. But what do I know? I'm sure she knows she's got it all figured out. I'm sure she planned it that she would not appear in the morning consult poll where Democrats and independents were questioned about who they saw as presidential material in 2028. I'm sure it was all a part of her grand scheme that she not appear on this list, because who wants to be considered? Who wants that? Yeah, Gretchen Whitmer doesn't want to be on this list. It doesn't give AOC the warm and fuzzies to be on this list. Yeah, okay. It is what it is. Hey, they love to say you're mean when you're being meaningful. That's what I am. I'm mean but meaningful. I have a point. And maybe, just maybe, some of y'all people that think y'all have friends because y'all egg that on because you big that up and you make a lot of money off of it. Roland making all that money off them videos. Every time she show her ass, he right there cheering it on like that's the thing to do. He been doing politics for 40 years. He know damn well she's not going to advance with Democrats by doing that. He know that. All right, next, man. Some people don't care about you, girl. Lady, ma'am, sister, them people don't care about you. Hit the like button, guys, if it makes sense. If it don't make sense, hey. All I'm doing is giving you my commentary, my opinion. I give you the facts, then I give you my opinion. That's all I can do. Kamala Harris running in 2028 looks like a joke to me, but hey, who am I? I just think like you got as far as you're going to get with people putting you in a slot. Okay? At this point, you got to run on your own steam, and I don't think Kamala Harris has the steam to run. I just don't. It's what it is. You can't be given the presidency. Yeah. The only way Kamala Harris could put her best chance of being presidency, she missed it when she didn't throw the water. She didn't throw when she didn't oil. She didn't throw no oil on Biden's shoes. Because that was the only way. If you fell down them steps on Air Force One, that's the only way that she becomes president. I'm sorry, that's it. That's all. She's as close. That was as close. She was a heartbeat away from being president. And that plane then left the runway. Okay? That's what that's done. She will not. Okay? Unlike Joy Reid, I've been pretty good at calling these. Okay, that's pretty good. I said Trump will beat Hillary. Said that. And I said Trump was going to beat Kamala. Joy Reid said Hillary's going to win, and then she said Kamala's going to win. And then she said that Joe Biden was cognitively aware he couldn't stay president. She's three. That's three. She out. That's three. You're three, you're out. We're going to do baseball for you. She out. All that money, it can't make better predictions than your brother Tim Black. Okay? But yeah, Kamala Harris had an opportunity to become president. It was right there for her, and that's it. That's it. That's all. Y'all ready? Let's go to the next one. Yeah, man, I tell you, man, I don't pull punches. I ain't got time for it, man. I'm tired of, you know what I'm saying? Things going on, my back hurt. All types of stuff. I don't know why I was breakdancing here, pop locking. What did I do that for? That's goofy. I don't need to do that. Having too much fun up here, having a good time. I thought I was Eddie Griffin for a minute. You know what I'm saying? You both wear sunglasses doing this, but yeah. All right, guys, next topic. Hit the like button. Our goal is 400 likes. If you like the show, let's get 400 likes on the board, Johnson. Let's go. The next story. Oh, this is gonna be good, man. I'm gonna be in a doghouse with the sisters, man, this week. I just want the sisters to know this is nothing personal. Well, it is kind of personal. It is kind of personal. But it ain't against you, though. I got your back. Let me hit play. Let me make sure it's the right one. I hate announcing stuff and I'm wrong. Sometimes things get out of order because I got the worst assistant in the business. Me. How we doing, Buck? Are we getting close on the 400, man? I don't even think we got 400 people watching this thing, man. Need to fire my publicist.
Next on deck with Tim Black.
But I'm saying, like, you can contribute to whoever you want, and the
After a
hope is that
cooling off
they're
period.
going to know that you want certain priorities.
He literally tweeted to the members of
the
Congress
oldest profession
that
on
you don't
earth
have to touch me.
is not.
He literally tweeted to these members,
did that
"Thank you for
nicely.
doing this. I don't want you to touch me. That's my
I
personal
won't
space.
ever do it again.
Thank you."
Yeah. This little clip made quite a stir across the internet. Yeah, a lot of people were like, what? It's kind of a big deal, man. Kind of a big deal. You know, I looked at it, I say, wow, yeah. Here's my take on this, man. Angela Rye she felt the need to play that card on him. And I don't think it was necessary. I just don't think it was necessary. It didn't look like he hit the breastises. Now, if he would have hit the breastises, then maybe you got a course. Then I'm being honest. I'm a married man. I'm married and I have daughters. Okay? I have 3 daughters. So, okay? 3 daughters, 2 sons. If O'Leary accidentally, with this hand, this part of his hand, accidentally hit the breast, I can hear her saying, all right, calm down, Kevin, okay? It's a way to do it. She did not have to do it that way. I don't care if you don't like Kevin O'Leary or not. She did not have to do it the way she did it, okay? It didn't look like breast. It looked like it was her arm. That's what it looked like to me. And then if you don't thank the person, I don't know what she thinks. I know she said that, who should say, sent her something, Chris Cuomo commented on a picture of hers that she put on Instagram that she was wearing a bathing suit, a 2-piece bathing suit. She put it on Instagram and he made a comment on it and she felt violated. Like, you put it out there for the whole world to see. Why can't people comment? But okay, see. Then I saw the other clip with Angela Cry. I'm going to call her Angela Cry. That's my nickname for her. Angela Cry. She just, right at the drop of a dime. She was at TSA getting patted down like many of us have had to get patted down. And she was crying because she got to get patted down by a woman with the back of her hand doing what they do to people. And yeah, no one likes it unless you're a pervert. But crying like you're being anally probed? No, that's not what happened. So Angela is not used to moving about in the real world with the rest of us. I don't know why these women, and I don't know, maybe this guy's too like this. I'm going to stick to her. Let's stick to her. I don't know why Angela Rye operates. Why anyone would think someone like Angela Rye would actually fight for us in any way whatsoever. This woman can't even move about in the world without falling apart. You know what I'm saying? Like, she need to call a ref and throw technical fouls on everything that happens in her life, it seems. That's how it looks to me. This is not about Kevin O'Leary. This is not about that. There's a smooth way to handle Kevin O'Leary. And Angela Rye is not a kid. She's not in the 20s. She's not in the 30s. Matter of fact, her and Jasmine Crockett are over 40 years old. There's something that got to be said about the over 40 crew having some maturity and having some diplomacy and some tact. Oh, Tim, maybe she felt violated. Really, Johnson? Really? You want to panel with everybody there. He didn't play footsie. It was an inadvertent touch. Maybe he was trying to get her attention. Maybe he was trying to make his point. But there's a way to handle that. I believe there's a way to handle it that it doesn't go super viral and be a distraction from everything else that was going on in that panel. And I don't think she had anything all that important to say on that panel, by the way. We're going to cover her later on. Now, I know I know my opinion ain't going to be popular amongst the Democrats because the Democrats hate men. Yeah, they hate men. The only thing I'm glad is that it was Kevin O'Leary and not a black man. Yeah, because he probably would never be on another panel ever again. I'm sure Kevin O'Leary would be on a panel. He was on a panel there today. Like, this should never happen, okay? Because he got the complexion for the protection from the collection. Shout out to Paul Mooney. But what does this really say, man, about Angela Cry? You know? She right there, man, with Amanda Seals and lately I liked Amanda's takes lately. Good takes, but the unworkability aspect is going to come into play here. I mean, I know for some reason CNN books you, but it's like, I don't know why. No, I don't know. I just feel like she, this particular thing, it just brings up all types of stuff about her and that podcast and these guys, and I don't know. I don't rock with it. Not my flavor of news content. But I'm a hater. I'm a Democratic Party hater. I hate the Democratic Party. And I hate those people that gatekeep for the Democratic Party. And I can't stand the talking points they use and how they drape themselves in the issues of working class, poor black folks just to not champion for any of that shit. Okay? Can't stand it. So she's part of that crew. And so no. But unlike Dr. Rashad Richie, I saw his clip today on this. Someone's like, Tim, check this out. Like, man, why'd you send me this? Look, guys, when y'all send me clips, tell me who it's for, tell me why I should watch it, and tell me who it is. Because I did not need to see Rashad Richie, dun, 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 welcome to the bullpen, and start kissing her ass immediately. Like, he didn't for a second put himself in this, like, he's the guy on a panel and he accidentally touches a woman's arm and she freaks out like he just groped her or something. He didn't, even as a man, he couldn't for a second even, like, at all put himself in that realm. Not even to be like, well, maybe he didn't mean it. It was inadvertent. It's a bad thing. He just began to run down Kevin O'Leary like he's the worst guy, like he's horrible. It just then the rest of the segment was all about Elon Musk and Elon Musk is a Nazi and all this shit. Like what's that got to, like, come on, man. And I can't believe that there are people that like that concept, but hey, man, to each his own. Angela Rye, like I said, there's a way to handle things and a way not to handle things. And don't tell me women do this type of stuff to men all the time. There are women that talk with their hands, man. I've experienced it. Particularly older black women used to love talking with their hands. I was a young man. Hey, baby, listen here, baby. Baby, listen. I don't mean nothing by this, but let me tell you. And then be touching your arm the whole time. Listen, baby. You know what I'm saying? Now, I know Kevin Larry is not an older black woman, right? I know that. But what I'm saying is some people talk that way. She didn't mean nothing by it. But yeah, it was upsetting to see Dr. Rashad Richie act as if he's not a guy and he doesn't have, junk, and that any woman can say you did anything at any time and make it like you meant it in a sexual way and you didn't, and what that really does. But he didn't even want to have that conversation. Instead, it's like team ball, red versus blue, Dems versus Republicans, fight on, and that's, you expect more from people with all these degrees and shit, But that's why you got all the degrees. And that's why you got the big job at TYT. And that's why you get the award from Atlanta, because you played the Democratic Party game. And this is part of the game. All right, y'all, let's keep it moving. Like I said, I'm glad it was Kevin O'Leary, because she did that to her brother. He might not ever be back on TV again. Kevin O'Leary is on another show an hour later, because that's how the shit goes. She ain't heard her. But so maybe it's like no harm, no foul when you look at it that way. You know what I'm saying? Because she got a news cycle. Ain't nobody been talking about her. You know what I'm saying? Kamala lost. She went into hiding. And, probably went and had to seek therapy, for a while. She said she's going to be in D.C., living in one of those nice, houses in DuPont Circle or Potomac Hills or something, and that didn't happen because Kamala didn't get the job. So it's a lot of black women on suicide watch right about now because they're so depressed that Kamala didn't get that job because they all thought they was gonna move to DC. Instead, they find out they ain't moving to DC, and half of DC is moving away because they lost their federal job. And it's this whole business bad right now for black women in DC, man. It's tough, man. You can almost talk to them. You can almost ask them about, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's a certain type of black woman right now that may be approachable that wasn't approachable before. The ones with like 3 degrees, making $150,000 a year, driving nice, driving G-Wagon or something. Overextended, you know what I'm saying? But look good in the mode. Don't want nothing to do with your broke ass, but you know what I'm saying. This is what I heard, I'm happily married, but this is what I heard. All right, guys, let's keep going. Hit the like button if that make any sense to you. Like I said, I'm just glad it's Kevin O'Leary, not Jerome Thompson. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. That'd been a problem. You know what I'm saying? Oh, there'd have been a Daquan Edwards. Oh, God. Woo. They'd be like going through his background like Dr. Umar on his ass, having his daughter come up. He had DV Dad, too. Oh, they were tearing his ass. Some of it was a black man. Kevin O'Leary's like in and out. Bam, bam, nothing. Video does 3 million. All this noise, but nothing. Nobody looks at the Kevin O'Leary. Must be nice. All right, let's keep going, guys. Next story. That was good. Hey. I didn't expect that segment to go so well. Hit the like button for the Tim Black Show. Remember, the Tim Black Show is brought to you by you. Go to jointimblack.com to become a member of the Tim Black Wolf Pack. That's right. Pick up your Tim Black Show gear at timblackpaws.com. timblackpaws.com. All right, family, let's keep going.
But he literally says,
Next on deck with Tim Black.
And if we don't have Elon, they could be up there a long time. Who else is going to get him? And I just want to thank him. He's going through a lot, what they're doing to him. And these people are going to be caught, and they're going to be caught, and they're going to be prosecuted. And from what they tell me, I see this just by watching your programs and reading the news, but from what they tell me, they could get 20 years in jail, and they'll get it. I'll tell you, there's going to be no leniency, and there'll be no pardons. I can tell you that right now.
And you said this morning 20 years in jail, and then maybe they get, you said this morning 20 years in jail, and then maybe they'll go to one of these prisons in El Salvador. Do you think with the way that the judges have been issuing injunctions, it would be easier or harder to send these Tesla domestic terrorists to a jail in El Salvador than these MS-13 or Tren de Aragua guys?
Well, I view these people as terrorists just like others. When I looked at those showrooms burning and those cars, not one or two, like 7, 8, 10 burning, exploding all over the place. These are terrorists. You didn't have that on January 6th, I can tell you. You didn't have anything like that on January 6th, which is sort of amazing because on January 6th, the Democrats were talking. Nobody was killed other than a very beautiful young woman, Ashley Babbitt. Nobody was killed. And you look at what's going on now with these terrorists. These are terrorists, and that's an organizer.
Yeah, so, this is not one of Trump's better performances. It's kind of stunk. Dude, why are you bringing up January 6th? Let them do that. You know they gonna bring it up. No one died. You're not supposed to die, Trump. All right, so in the prisons in El Salvador, come on, man. Come on now. Now, last night I reported on this, and I said I could see the domestic terrorist label because if it's politically motivated, that's when you went into that. Okay. I was told that makes it terrorism. When someone has got a political manifesto, when anything is politically around politics, that's when it becomes terrorism. That's what I was told. Now, I could be wrong, but yeah. So I see that. But El Salvador, for real? That's what this is going to be? And we shouldn't be talking about what's not going to be there's going to be no leniency. That's kind of kooky. Like, we need to get away from talking about that when people have been issuing pardons and doing this type of stuff. That's, just, I don't know, it just seems a little weird. You know what I'm saying? That's all, just not where you want to go with it. Yeah, this is not Trump's best work. And he's fighting hard for Elon, man. I wish I had friends like Elon has friends or like Trump has friends. My friends don't my friends don't have this type of pull, obviously, but damn, Elon, man, what'd you do? Well, helped him run his campaign, paid him all that money. Damn. Good friend to have, this Trump guy.
Take a look at their signs. Take a look. They're all made by the same sign company. A nice, expensive job. Now, these are the people that finance it are, in my opinion, in just as big a trouble as the people that are setting the match and setting the fires. So we'll see. It's under very serious investigation by the FBI and by the Justice Department. These people are terrorists.
The two astronauts that you just helped save from space, they didn't get any overtime pay for all that extra time. They got $5 a day per diem for 286 days. That is $1,430 in extra pay. Is there anything the administration can do to get them, to make them whole?
Well, nobody's ever mentioned this to me. If I have to, I'll pay it out of my own pocket, okay? I'll get it for them.
Mr. President,
You know what, man? I want to talk about this, man. I think he's going to get to it, man. Let's talk about the astronauts that were stuck in space. Some of you should be ashamed of yourselves.
Yeah, I like that. I'll pay it right out of my... Is that all? That's not a lot. For what they had to go through. And I want to thank Elon Musk, by the way, because think if we don't have him. There's only so long, even though they're in the capsule up there, that the body starts to deteriorate after 9 or 10 months and gets really bad after 14, 15 months with the bones and the blood and all the things that you've been reporting on very well. And if we don't have Elon, they could be up there a long time. Who else is going to get them?
Yeah, man, that's a good point, man. And I got to say this, man. Some of you should be ashamed of yourselves. Horrible people, some of you. You let your Trump hate and your Elon hate go to your heads. It's on your hearts. And I had people literally, I'm like, yo, yeah, man, Elon went up and got those astronauts to save their lives, brought them back. It was like, so? So they've been okay. They're upstairs up there. They weren't dying. I was like, dog, they've been stuck in this capsule almost 300 days longer. They were stranded. And he used his SpaceX rockets and they went up and got him. Nobody else did it. Ain't somebody else jumping in to go do it. Oh, well, okay, whatever. He probably did it. He only did it because he wants favors from Trump. Like nothing you can say, man. I mean, I'm telling you, man, it's immovable. Ain't nothing you can say to these people. They have decided they hate Elon. They hate Trump. It's it. Trump he got shot at, no feeling. Elon rescues astronauts' lives, American astronauts. No feelings at all. No, nothing, no gratitude, no 50-50 ball. Like, well, maybe he's not as bad as I thought, but that's a good thing. Nothing like that. Like, hey, maybe he's all right. Yeah. Even the worst Italian mobsters that will cut you into pieces would appreciate you when you did something good for them. Like, hey, Carmine, your car's double parked. I just took care of the tow guy. He's about to call your car. Oh, really? All right, thank you. Hey, whatever. It's okay, yeah. I was going to have you take him in the back and put 2 in his head, but maybe we'll let Anthony have another week. Maybe we overlook, It's a good guy. What he did was pretty good. It was decent of him. It's all right. Yeah, maybe hey, come here, you goggle-boom. Come over here. None of that from you guys. I don't care. I don't like Elon. He's got hair plugs and he's weird. And Trump and him are just siphoning money and they're taking money like he's the richest man in the world. Not your broke cousin. He's doing it just to get money. He's already got money. Elon Musk could fill up this whole studio with $100 bills and wouldn't even miss the money. It'd be like nothing. You understand what I'm telling you? You get it? He just done it to make money. Yeah, man, it's gone, man. These people, they're gone. And it's almost like them being so hateful and so filled with anger and bitterness and resentment that it makes me, who tries to just be like, I'm gonna try to call it straight. I'm trying not to hate anybody. I hate the Democratic Party. I can't hate everybody at one time. It makes me seem like I'm caping because you guys are so hateful. You know, you're so out you're on 10 and really you're on like 15, right? And like, I'm trying to say like 3, 4, but you know, you make me look like I'm not. You know, I used to be different. Then I realized a lot of this is all smoke and mirrors. Don't you understand what the Democrats do? They smear anybody that's against them at any time. This is what you can always count on. There will never be anybody that's on the opposite side of the Democrats that is not called a racist or a woman beater or a sexist. It don't exist. Anybody, and I mean anybody, I don't care who it is. The guy from Saturday Night Live, the little dwarf guy, the little lucky leprechaun looking guy with the glasses. Well, I'm special. You're special. You used to have this skit on Saturday Night Live. You're special. Al Franken, that's his name. They said this guy was a woman molester or something. Because 30 years ago, he did like this in a picture. To a co-worker on a plane while she was asleep. It was a picture. He took the picture going, and they used that on her. Then some woman from 20 years said, he bumped into me at a county fair. And that was it. His job was gone. All because they wanted his ass out of his Senate seat in Minnesota. Tim Walz probably had something to do with this shit. Didn't Tim Walz take a seat? Tim Walz, was he a senator or a congressperson? Probably a congressperson. The point is this. The Democratic Party, that's how they come get you. They come get you. They call you a misogynist, or they Me Too your ass, or they call you racist. Racist is easy. You don't even need, they don't even need witnesses. So just know that's what they do. All right. What's bad is sometimes it's true, but you're so quick to call it, you haven't even looked yet. Oh, he's racist. How do you know? We just know. We just know these things. So that's what we say. That's what we call everyone. Everyone's racist, and then you got to prove you're not. And that's the black guys. Now with black people, they always call you a sellout. That's what you got to be, a sellout. I say I want to get my people out the Democratic Party. I'm fighting for black people to get out the Democratic Party. Then I'm saying you can vote Democrat only if the conditions make sense. Only if they got the better offer. Then we'll buy from their store. We'll only do business with them if they're trying to do business with us. If not, we're going to entertain the Green Party, the Independent Party, the Libertarian Party, or the Republican Party. We're going to be like every other group in America, and we're going to look at all the parties and say, which one is going to do a better job for us? That's what we should do. And to most people, if I was a Latino, if I was Mexican, or if I was Asian, or if I was, for any other group, and I said that, no one would bat an eye. They'd be like, that's what you're supposed to do. So we do all the time. If I was Indian American and I said that, you'd be like, hey, what? But since I'm Black American, sellout. That guy's a sellout. So I call him Tim Scott. That's what we got to call him. Change his name from Tim Black to Tim Scott, or maybe Tim White, because he wants black people to have choices. Yeah, he's hateful. Guy's horrible. How could you want? But black people don't want no choices. The worst are the scared blacks. The ones, there you go talking about choices. Shh, hush. Master gonna hear you talk about choices. Wanting us to be able to vote who gonna do better job. You just shut up. It's a horrible thing, Johnson, horrible thing. What was I talking about? I don't know. Next topic. Trump and Elon all good friends, though. I got to give it to you. They all good friends. Jesus. I had a friend. You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me.
And I just want to thank him. He's going through a lot, what they're doing to him. And these people are going to be caught, and they're going to be...
See, it just seems a little heavy to me because, like, he's the richest man in the world. He's going through a lot. You know? Nah, that's what you say to your broke-ass friend who just got out of a divorce and she took half his shit. Or she took the house and he's living on a futon or staying at a deep piece at a motel lodge in Econo Lodge. You know, miserable, horrible, with a bag, a trash bag of his clothes in it. He's washing it at the the laundromat around the corner from the hotel. You know what I'm saying? Like that guy. And he's got an old Ford Festiva or something he's driving. Some really crappy or a trucking. Remember that El Camino looking car with rust on it on the side, the fenders falling off? That guy, who's 48 years old and 2 kids who won't even talk to him, and now he's divorced, and he's got an alcohol problem, and he's got gout, and that guy is poor, poor that guy. The word poor in Elon, they don't belong in the same sense under any circumstance. And the fact that we don't have Republicans, right? The fact we don't have Republicans and conservatives, commentators, maybe not, like I'm not expecting politicians to keep it real because by and large politicians don't keep it real, but the fact you don't have political commentators with the guts to say that, like, it's a couple black commentators. They may be conservative, but they still black. Like Dawkins, DeVory Dawkins. DeVory Dawkins wouldn't say this. The black conservative perspective won't say this. Sheriff Tatum, whatever's Tatum, won't say this. Officer Tatum. This is like, you black first, right? You a real dude. Come on now. Y'all, come on. Y'all always like, we may be conservative, but we're not full of shit. Okay. All right. I'm saying it, so that's why I say I don't fit in with the conservatives, because how could you listen to Trump say poor Elon and not be like, huh? What? You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, I don't know how you do that. I don't know how you do that. Listen to it. Sounds like he's talking about somebody who has problems.
They're going to be caught, and they're going to be caught, and they're going to be prosecuted. And from what they tell me, I see this just by watching your programs and reading the news, but from what they tell me, they could get 20 years in jail, and they'll get it. I'll tell you, there's going to be no leniency, and there'll be no pardons. I can tell you that right.
And you said this morning.
Next on deck
Wait
with Tim Black.
You get it. You know what it is. It is what it is. Hey. Hit the like button if that made any sense to you. How'd that go, Buck? Buck, how was that? Was that better? Like that better? Was that good? I thought it was good.
Police departments in South Florida are signing cooperation agreements to be deputized as ICE. When we, I keep thinking, okay,
this is going to be
going to change the way folks. They're gleeful. Everybody I know who voted for Trump is gleeful and supportive of everything he's doing.
Next.
Talk about waking up and realizing you're back the wrong horse. Jesus Christ, yeah, we know. Anna Navarro, Rhino. Right, she's a Democrat now, right? She's a Republican who caucuses with the Democrats. What does she do? I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. It's like she did a reverse Fetterman. What's going on here? I'm just saying, it's kind of funny. She said she thought because they were Latino that they were going to rock with. They were going to be like, oh my God, I can't believe I chose Trump. Nah, they're here illegally. They got to compete against people that come here and work for $2 in a pack of smokes. That's a problem, lady. Or maybe they own businesses. And their competition is hiring people that are undocumented and paying them in strawberries. Okay? And they've been paying people in money. It's an unfair advantage, don't you think? Don't you get it? Yeah, man. I think it's hilarious because Anna is just in a bubble, you know? She's in a bubble. Her, Sonny, Whoopi, all of them in bunnies. Joy, I don't even know how she gets around. The bubbles are fragile. How does she even go to the store? She doesn't. She's got Instacart for all her goods. Tim, come on, Tim Black. These people aren't going anywhere. They might bump into real people that would hold them accountable and ask them questions and stuff. Look, man, Anna Navarre, I hate to break it to you, but you are an idiot. You don't know what's going on at all. Nah, most Trump supporters, look, this is not an MSNBC panel. Most Trump supporters voted for Trump to do exactly what he's doing. And he's doing it, even if the courts reject it. So what? He tried. That's the thing. This is what he ran on with them. That's what, and do you see how it's possible for a president to do what they say they're going to do? See, it exists. I was hoping that Democrats, the Democrats that have good sense, who just, basically flipped the coin and chose Democrat, I hope they're paying attention there. Look at what Trump's doing. Because Trump is not doing anything that Biden couldn't have done. Okay? I'm just saying that. Trump is just doing this. And I told y'all, how many people watched the channel when I was like, Trump gonna be like this? Just signing shit. I told you Trump is gonna do like this. Just bring me more papers. Shut up. Stop talking. Bring me more papers. Don't make me stop signing. Just keep putting it there. When I lift up, have a paper and slide it in there. I don't care what it is. I'm just signing. I told you that's what he was going to do, and that's what he's doing, because he came to stand on business. And Biden could barely stand, and he wasn't trying to do no real business. Okay? And his stuff is coming back too. And that's why I tell people, don't worry. They got people jumping out the gym like black folks. Do not worry. Like, if you're like, oh no, Trump's doing this. He signed this executive order and this executive order. And it's going crazy. Look, half of the stuff he signs will be challenged in court and reversed. He gets the news cycle of doing it, and then it comes back, and it's very quiet. There are Biden executive orders that have come back since he left office that got nullified. Not because the court's like, you can't do that, goofy. That's going to happen to a lot of stuff Trump does too. You understand? Now, there are going to be some things Trump's going to appeal. It's going to stay stuck in the courts. It may take a while to get out the news cycle. So it's not so obvious that it failed. This is politics. All right, let's keep going, guys. Keep going. That's funny. End of the world. Getting posterized.
Full and supportive of everything he's doing.
Next on deck with Tim Black.
You know the deal. Independent black media stays unapologetic, raw, and real. Now you can wear the movement. From the Tim Black Wolf Pack to the Cornbread Collection, we got gear for the real ones. For men, women, even the little ones. No weak threads, no weak messages. Rep the truth. Rep the movement. Hit up timblackpauls.com and grab yours today. Because cornbread ain't free. That's right. Wolfpack. Go to timblackpauls.com, pick up your
Next
shirt.
on deck with Tim Black.
Harder, better, faster, stronger. Tonight, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez wages that Democrats would do a lot better with voters if they looked less like diplomats searching for a compromise and looked more like prize fighters for the working class.
This isn't just about Republicans. We need a Democratic Party that fights harder for us too. But what that means is that we, as a community, must choose and vote for Democrats and elected officials who know how to stand for the working class. I want you to look at every level of office around and support brawlers who fight, because those are the ones who can actually win against Republicans. Let's be real about that.
Brawlers. I assume you approve this message.
100%. Absolutely. Democrats are in a crisis right now. They're on life support. They have a testicular fortitude problem. They are not fighting nearly as hard as they need to fight for the American people, as was seen last week during this CR vote in the Senate. It's a problem. And for me, it's not about the parties, because the parties are going to kind of do their thing. It's about the people rising up and holding the parties accountable. Democrats have fighters. Jasmine Crockett, AOC, Ayanna Pressley, the whole squad, Greg Casar, Pramila Jayapal, and governors and mayors across the country are fighters. But we need some of the OGs in the party to elevate, uplift the younger people
or do they
and
need
take
to,
a step
do
back.
they need to step aside?
Or step aside, because we need to hear new, fresh, bold voices. That's what the American people want. And if the party doesn't do that, the party is about to be finished.
I hope that AOC, Pramila Jayapal, Greg Casar, I hope they're the new face of the Democratic Party, because Republicans will be winning elections all over the country if that is the face of the Democratic Party. Are you?
I mean, y'all
listen, a district like mine that Joe Biden won by 10 points, okay, 10 points. Kamala Harris.
Yo, God, I got to say this because I just wanted to. I got to say this. Jamal Bowman, he's talking about people got to brawl. They got to stand up. They got to be bold. I remember when Jamal Bowman was, up for election, right? I tried to get him to come on the show. He wouldn't come on the show. He'd come on the show when he got elected, but he wouldn't come back on the show during the re-election. I guess he was afraid I was going to say some stuff or ask some stuff, and he's right, I was. I was going to ask some stuff. But someone said this to me. Maybe it was better that he didn't. Or maybe it would have helped him. Because he just sat here and he just sat here and said that, Democrats need to fight, need to be brawlers, and they got a testicular fortitude problem. Okay? And I hear him say that. I hear that. But here's the thing. Jamal Bowman was one of the most outspoken supporters of Palestinians. He was fighting. He was up there, was outspoken. Like one of the most brave, courageous Palestinian folks. And then he got backlash. Yeah, he was all out the gym. He was all out the car, leaning out the car. You're like, get back in the car, Jamal. This is how people fall to their deaths. He's like, no, I'm out the car. I'm feeling it. This is in the wind. You never felt this before. He was doing the whole thing for the Palestinians. Then he hit some turbulence. Yeah. And he tried to backtrack. He tried to get back in the window. He started modulating this tone on Palestinians. Like, well, maybe a two-state solution would be best. And maybe if we could just stop the fighting. Stop fighting amongst each other. Hey, sit down, chill. Smoke some weed or something. Y'all come to New York and do hip-hop day with me. You start doing that shit. And then all the people that was going to have his back said, oh, he ain't a real one. He ain't a real one, So they feel like he jumped out, tried to get some fire, caught that heat, and then backed away. But by that time, AIPAC had already decided, oh, we coming for you. So he ended up in nowhere's land, right? He ended up not having the support of the Palestinians who he had embraced and was all talking chess and with his chest about. He lost them when he backed away from them, and he couldn't get back to the moderates because he'd already jumped out there. So he ended up holding the bag with nowhere. And this is the guy who's on here saying, y'all need to be courageous and y'all need to have testicular fortitude and y'all need to do this and do that. And that's why I do not like, this is why I'm a Democratic Party hater, man. This is a Democratic Party BS. I'm sure the whole time Jamal was talking that talk, standing up for Palestinians. There were people in his ear telling him this will ruin your career. They were right. But if you're going to say F them, bump them, go to hell, I'm doing what I'm going to do, then do that. Don't go half and then try to rewind and back up out of it. That doesn't work. And see, all the people's channels he went on and all the people he did talk to, none of them brought that up, I'm sure. So they had nice conversation, and they just chopped it up and did everything. And then that's why I say, man, yeah, I don't consider Bowman a friend. He's cool. He came on the show one time. Then he froze me out. So I don't feel like I owe you shit. And that's the way I like it. It's business. And the business is you and the Democrats want to talk tough. And here's the thing. If you ain't going to stand up for Palestinians, you're going to have all this heart. It'd be different if you didn't stand up for them. But this is worse. When you stand up for someone and then you back out, that says people can't trust you. And the type of politicians I would bring on my show would have to only be the type that I could trust and I could feel like it's going to ride for Black America. And if you ain't going to do that, if you're going to be halfway, and if you get heat, you're going to back out, start modulating it, start toning it down. Nah, man, we don't got time for that. That's not what we need. That's not leadership. And that's the same way AOC was. She did the same thing. She talked tough, and then she was Nancy Bear. Nancy Bear's the big bear, big mama bear, and all this. She did the same thing. They talked tough, and then they backed down. Who didn't back down? Cori Bush. That's who didn't back down. That was different. All right, let's keep going, y'all. That's more in this segment, but had to give y'all some balance to that, you know. My man talking like he was one of those people that had testicular fortitude.
Won by half a point. Okay, I won by 6.5 points. 24 are. I hope they're the new face of the Democrat.
Hear new, fresh, bold voices. That's what the American people rising up and holding the parties accountable. Democrats have fighters. Jasmine Crockett, AOC, Ayanna Pressley, the whole squad, Greg Casar, Pramila Jayapal. And governors and mayors across the country are fighters. But we need some of the OGs in the party to elevate, uplift.
Fight for who? Fight for who? Who they fight for? Not us. Not us. What? Juneteenth? What'd you fight for?
The younger people,
or do they
and
need
take
to,
a step back.
Do they need to step aside?
Or step aside, because we need to hear new, fresh, bold voices. That's what the American people want. And if the party doesn't do that, the party is about to be finished.
I hope that AOC, Pramila Jayapal, Greg Casar, I hope they're the new face of the Democratic Party because Republicans will be winning elections all over the country if that is the face of the Democratic Party. Are you?
I mean, y'all
listen, a district like mine that Joe Biden won by 10 points, okay, 10 points. Kamala Harris won by half a point, okay? I won by 6.5 points, 24,000 votes in a district that has 85,000 more Democrats than Republicans. Why?
And you're right.
Because the
But you ran against a cornball candidate.
He was your friend.
He was not my friend.
He was your friend
You
long
had
ago.
someone running against you.
Damn, he cleaned your clock, Bowman. Stop interrupting dude and let dude talk now. Now you see. There it is. I think Bowman wanted to go put a fire alarm. Hey, Bowman, you about to go put a fire alarm? You almost got time. I'm sure you could go find one to pull.
Who was not a strong candidate. And we still
we agree on.
We still have consultants and big money controlling the Democratic Party, compromising
She did
it.
outperform Kamala Harris in her
Come on
district.
now.
Trump did,
Sure.
Trump did better than
But here's my point. The New York, look no further than New York, where issues like cashless bail have been a disaster, issues like sanctuary state status, congestion pricing. In districts like mine, where Democrats on paper should win big, they're losing. And so if the messenger is AOC, who, by the way, was originally from my district, she grew up in Yorktown, not the Bronx. If AOC is the face of the Democratic Party in swing districts all across this country, she will mobilize voters way more than Nancy Pelosi ever did.
Let me just add
Republicans.
the counterpoint within the Democratic Party to what AOC is saying. From this is Elisa Slotkin. She gave the Democratic response to the State of the Union address much more of a moderate voice in the party. Listen.
Oh God, no.
I can't just chain myself to the White House and become an activist full time because you and others here are going to call me for things that you need. All of those things require me to be more than just an AOC. I can't do what she does because we live in a purple state and I'm a pragmatist. I gotta save things for my people.
Damn, I'm a pragmatist. She called AOC, name-checked AOC. Bowman, what you gonna say? I know you're gonna fight for your girl. I know you're gonna fight for your girl. She came out and campaigned for him. Did she campaign for Cory Bush? I think she did. I don't know.
Things are getting messy.
Come on, son.
It's getting very messy.
That's white flag energy right there.
Names are
that's
being
white flag
put on the table.
energy right.
White flag energy. She living. Nah, man, she's right. Like you gotta. You know, you are where you are, where you live at, where your district is. You got to be about the needs of the district. And if the needs of the district, if those people are not progressive like that, like why would you be like? They don't want no sanctuary. Like whatever. You know, it's a different thing. So basically, this is what's happening, guys. This is what I think is happening. AOC is out here taking shots. When she's saying those things, people are questioning the Congress people in their districts, their Congress people, and so what AOC and Bernie said, blah, 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 and blah, 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 blah. And they're like, 90% of our district are these people. Your small, loud minority group ain't gonna get me elected. And you damn sure ain't got enough money to help me run a race that's gonna be, doable, that I'm gonna be able to handle the incoming from the Republican if I won, even if I do somehow manage to win the primary. So no way, right? So there's realities to the politics, that you, and where you live at and where you're running. And that's one of the reasons why, politics is very much so cutthroat, because it all depends on those things. So what's working for AOC in her district may not be the same demographics that work for Jasmine Crockett or work for, Bowman, Jamal Bowman and his.
Right there.
No, I think she's right.
What do you mean you think she's right?
Because
First of all, even choosing her to give the response to Governor Trump.
That's your party.
Governor Trump. I should call him Governor Trump.
That's
President Trump was a problem.
You should be the chairman, by the way.
This is crazy.
All right, let me let Joe finish.
Go ahead, brother.
She is right in the sense that it's easy to throw grenades. You can be AOC and throw grenades all day in a safe district and not have to account for anything. There's a huge delta between the hype of AOC and the accomplishments of AOC. And frankly, if you look at that tour she was just on with Bernie Sanders, right? It was called the Fighting Olive.
That means he's right when people are like, dude, oh shit, what I'm gonna say? I don't got nothing to say. I got nothing here. I thought you guys prepped me. Give me something in my earbud here. What's going on? That's right. I'm not somebody with any pull here. I got nothing.
Oligarchy tour, right? They essentially traveled the country and spoke to an echo chamber of people who already agree with them. How is she and Bernie Sanders, with their message, going to attract people in swing districts?
I guess what I wonder is maybe what they're looking at is actually.
I'm scared of AOC. I welcome her to my Democrats. I'm scared. There are Democrats.
Maybe what they're looking at, Joe, is what the Republicans did, which is all of the guys who stood around screaming in Congress and not passing any legislation. Those folks are in power now. They won at the end of the day.
I think that this is where I will actually agree with you. I do think that there is a difference between Bernie Sanders and AOC going and talking to our base, and a difference between the senator who was just elected, has to show results for her state, has to, in a swing state, a battleground state, and she has to deliver something, versus AOC and Bernie are just, they're talking about the base. I will say I was at the DNC in 2017 after this exact same situation. Bernie Sanders asked Chuck Schumer, let me go out and talk to our base. This is exactly what he did in 2016. This is 2017. This is deja vu. You know what happened when Nancy Pelosi everybody was asking for her to resign. You know what she did? She embraced the new generation of the Democratic Party, lifted them up, and said, you know what? I'm going to step aside after the midterm elections, and I'm going to lift everybody else up.
And that's why she worked to block AOC from becoming
We've
a
done this
ranking member
before.
of
We
a
can
committee.
do that. That also
You know what rose-colored glasses this woman got on? It wasn't a good thing. They didn't get along. No, it wasn't like that. She rewriting history. Yeah.
Tens of millions of people who are staying home, they're staying home because we're not elevating new voices in the Democratic Party.
They're staying home because they can't stand the Democrats. They're not running on anything. You know, what are you gonna do? It's easy to talk now. You're out of power. And that's another thing, man. These people are going, Bernie and AOC are going to places to friendly audiences, talking about stuff they have no power to do. What are you doing? You should have been doing this when Biden was president. Don't want to do it then because you might be held accountable to actually do some of the shit that you're talking about. But if you do it when you're out of power and you just point at Trump and say, Orange Man bad, and we need clothes, we need the rent to pay for, and we need to get the heat going, we need the water, and the oligarch, and the racial inequality, and the wealth gap, and the Gilded Age, and then you do all of this, and the millionaires and the billionaires and the trillionaires. You do all that talking, and like nobody there can say, hey, okay, what you got done? What you doing? What are you doing for me? Nothing. It's just talk. So Bernie's playing his greatest hits. And I brought it in 2015, Johnson. In 2014, I thought, wow, this guy's talking about a federal jobs guarantee. He's talking about ending mass incarceration. He's talking about universal health care. He's talking about free local college tuition. Now what Biden's talking about free local college tuition. Biden was talking about erasing student debt. It's a different thing. So I was like, I never heard a politician talk about these things. I was interested. I got a bit. I was interested. I wasn't into politics like that. I just wanted things for my community. And he was running, and I thought he could beat Hillary, and he could deliver on some of those things he was running on, right? But man, it's 10 years later, and he's still been in the conversation. He almost won the primary in 2016. He was running again in 2020, got bushwhacked. He's still saying the same stuff he said in 2015. What has got accomplished out of that? It sounds good. It sounds good. It matters, man. Let's keep going, guys.
You're not. Your
Those
chairs
people
are
mobilized.
Maxine Waters on
to
financial
Congressman Lawler's
services.
point, this is not just a Chuck Schumer thing. I think it's happening pretty broadly among some of the older contingent in the Democratic Party. But that's another day. Coming up next for us, as voters get fed up at a town hall over Doge cuts, a judge is blocking Elon Musk's access to Social Security data. And a Republican...
Next on deck with Tim Black.
What's next?
Yeah, Bill Clinton said it better than anyone years and years ago after shellacking. Given the choice, I'm paraphrasing, the American people will always support strong and wrong versus weak and right.
Because I saw it for me, and not that I spend much time thinking about this, and it just baffled me how much time they spent trying to attack me that I wasn't like masculine enough in their vision. Like I would have never believed this. I saw Fox News did like a couple days because I used a straw. And I'm like, hell, man, what am I? How else do you drink a milkshake type of thing? But they focused on it obsessively, which I think, again, is their obsession, their weirdness. We buy their frame on these issues of sexuality, but their whole thing is that they spent all their time, these guys, on Fox News, that Walz is gay, he's not masculine, he doesn't coach football the way he should.
I mean, you are gay, aren't you? I mean, are you trying to tell me that the Democratic Party is the party of manly men? I'm not saying there are some men that are in the Democratic Party that are manly. I guess there has to be some, right? But is that really what you guys are standing on? I don't think you are, Johnson. I mean, you're a bunch of guys with a lot of feelings for other things. Look, if I went up and I said, Tim Walz, define a woman, could you? All the men I know could define a woman, it could define a man, it could tell you the differences between the two. Now, if you can't do that, stop talking like you're masculine. Use something else. Use some new age thing that's totally different than what we've been raised on. Yeah, I'm a relic. I'm old school. I'm a relic, but I'm the guy you want in your house when there's a strange noise outside. That's right, because I'm going to check it out. And you ain't got to come with me, baby. Okay? That's what it is. This guy was posing with guns that he didn't know how to load. And it looked corny. You look like a weirdo. Then you look fidgety, like, like you were on, like you were supposed to be on a milk carton, or maybe you got some kids that were missing on milk cartons buried under your stairs, Tim Walz. That's how you came across. And that's to most people. Other people are like, he's got great policies in Minnesota. Like, the guy looks like, he seems like, he gives me creeper, don't leave the kids with him vibes. And now he's doing a segment with Gavin Newsom about masculinity and manliness in the Democratic Party. Please. It's hilarious. You got to be joking.
What do you think about this? I mean,
no, I mean, it's well,
there's this misogyny in here that's happening.
Yeah, well, but this notion of masculinity is deeply part of it. That's one of the. I mean, I think it goes. And you can look at the reasons why we've had this sort of dialectic over the Me Too movement. We've had this dialectic even prior to the Me Too movement. This notion
of fight it.
And well, this notion
I think
of
I could kick most of their ass.
I can't take these guys serious, man. Are you seeing this shit? You're watching it, right? Yeah, you're watching. Jesus. They got nothing to say. Because all the things that a regular guy would say, they can't say because they'll be canceled by their own party. Yeah, you can't say, yeah, man, back in the day, as us men, we held the doors for our women, and, we beat up people that, when it made a woman feel unsafe, we're about to knock somebody's ass out, and when things come down to it, and you're testing me, you know what I'm saying? I can work through his hands, They can't do any of the guy stuff, right? That's a problem. That's a problem. Both of these guys, their party. I'm not saying the Republicans got the market cornered on masculinity, but I'm saying you guys definitely don't. In fact, you demonize anything that's male. It's like the male who's running around saying male toxicity to any guy who acts like a guy? You can't even say you love your daughters enough that some guy can't play basketball with them. Like, why is that hard to do? Like, a man's supposed to protect his child. And if you got a daughter that's in school, you can't stand up for her and say, I don't want no guys in their locker room. So, nah, man, don't even come. This is nonsense. And this is the mind screw. This is the mind-altering, I don't know, drug or whatever it is. The mind-altering condition that's happened to people in the Democratic Party that fall in line with like the party anthem, right? That you can't stand on business, that you can't have these beliefs. These beliefs are considered hateful. Who says? They say. That's it. It's just their opinion that it's not, right, that it's inappropriate. Another word men should never use. Inappropriate. That's inappropriate. Like, who walks around saying that? Tim Walz seems like the type of person that would say that at the drop of a dime anytime he was cornered. It was inappropriate when you asked her to, help pay half of the bill, on the date. That was inappropriate for you to ask. That's inappropriate for you to, and it's toxicity, toxic masculinity for you to open the door for it. That was just rude and chauvinistic for you to, pick up the bill that time, and it was what? Nah, man. These two guys should not be having this conversation, Mr. It's like, I don't know what, it's that stuff going on. And I got nothing to say, really. I just think this is a cool move. And as long as I do this, man, I get votes, you know what I'm saying? I do this a couple times, do this, and people like it when I do like that, Some Gavin Newsom, you know what I'm saying? Just keep doing this, get the votes coming in, you know what I'm saying? This is what get Democratic Party get me elected, So what, I'm bankrupt in California, so what? Let's keep doing this. It's jazz hands, baby, jazz hands. Man,
I do think that they want to do it. I know I can outrun them, but I don't know if we're going to fall into that place where we want to. Okay, we challenge you to a WWE fight here type of thing. Counter
but
it
it's a natural reaction. I think it's one of the reasons we're losing so many men. And again, it's multi-ethnic. It's not just white men. We're losing them. We're losing them to these guys online. We're losing them people that I'm bringing on this podcast as well. That's why I brought.
These are bad guys, though.
See, he called them bad guys. Nah, these are guys that got different opinions than you do. Not bad guys. If they ain't out hurting people, they ain't out laying hands on people, if they're not out here pushing old ladies downstairs and stealing the book bags from little kids, they're not bad guys unless they're doing something illegal, Timmy. All right? Name change immediately. Yeah, they're not bad guys because they disagree with you. No, it doesn't make them bad guys.
Bad guys.
But they exist, and we could deny they exist. They exist. Not only they exist, they persist, and they're actually influencing young kids every single day.
How do we push some of those guys back under a rock?
I think we have to first understand what their motivation.
Let me get this right. So LGBT people, he didn't want them to be able to come out. Come out the closet, all you people, LGBTQ, people floating genders, everything. Come on out, multi-genders, whatever it is, man. Whatever it is, man. Who cares? Come on out, be yourself. But that's you guys, that's you conservatives. You guys get back under a rock. See what I'm saying? This guy is a dumbass. It don't even make sense. He's not even true to his own hypocrisies. His hypocrisies have hypocrisies. What's he even talking about? And this guy, he's back out with Gavin Newsom. You know Gavin Newsom wants to run for office in 2028. He wants to run for the Democratic nomination. Want to run in the primary. Tim Walz is thinking about running in the primary too. And Tim Walz has already he sent some shots at Kamala Harris, saying Kamala Harris didn't allow him to be himself. Yeah, that they held him back. Tim Walz, him and his people put out communications last week. There was an article out there, interview. Tim Walz thought he was held back when he was running with Kamala. They wanted him to pull his punches. That Kamala Harris didn't feel comfortable with him getting so much publicity and so much notoriety that it was drowning her out. That was the implication. Yeah, so see what I'm saying? This is what I was talking about with Democrats go out to each other all day, every day. It's what they do. And I'm sure Republicans do it too. But remember, I'm a Democratic Party hater. Nice to meet you.
They exist, they persist, and they're actually influencing young kids every single day.
How do we push some of those guys back under a rock?
I think we have to first understand what their motivations are. I think we have to understand what they're actually doing. And
you don't
think that's
it's racism and misogyny?
I think there's a lot of that, but I don't think it's exclusively that.
And I don't think it's everybody either. And I don't think it doesn't. It's not. I think it exists in your party too, you jackass. Yeah, you see, it's so lazy. Black people, we got to stop letting people like Tim Walz just call everybody racist. Because that's not a policy prescription. See, that's not a get for us. White guys who got the guts, like doing a Tim Wise and a Tim Walz, don't change our life for Tim Black. Yeah, we said it again. Doing the Tim Wise and the Tim Walz don't change the life for Tim Black. You get what I'm saying? Calling people racist. White guys that are supposed to be such allies because they call other white guys racist don't change a damn thing for the way our lives are going. It doesn't change a damn thing. And whether that's getting bank loans or schools, better schools, or changing the first fired, last hired rules. It doesn't change anything for us. It don't change your zip code. It don't change your banknotes or your tax bracket. Nothing changes, guys, from that shit. That is just makes you get the warm and fuzzies. He's on our side. So we need to start looking at material gains, what we actually get out of it for our people. And if you are happy just with, if maybe you're a well-to-do Black person, you got your money, you straight, you don't need for anything, think about your family that ain't so straight. Because from every family, no matter how well you're doing, you got some cousins or some nephews that ain't doing so hot. If you ain't gonna do it for yourself because you good, you ain't got your couple degrees, sister, I feel you. You worked hard, you got yours. What about your cousin that isn't in that position? Do it for them. We need more than Tim Walz calling the other side racist as if that's a policy. No, it's not. They don't put no shoes on nobody's feet, no roof over nobody's head, no yard bird in the freezer, no steaks in the freezer. That ain't where it comes from. And Democrats get to ride off that because we got overreactive, emotional people allowing that to be a currency. And it's not. You saying that Tim Black is not an animal, that Tim Black is now, you're not so bad, Tim Black, you're just a person like me. What's wrong with you? Nothing wrong with you. You're a good guy. You're funny. You can dance. You can roast like Jasmine Crockett. You're great. Like, that doesn't do anything for me. Some of us are being too pushed over by this nonsense.
When you talk to a guy like Steve Bannon, he reminded me a little bit of my grandfather when he talks about working folks and he talks about how we hollowed out the industrial core of this country. I understand that. But so we can dismiss the notion of election denialism. We could completely dismiss what he did on January 6th, but I don't think you can dismiss what he's saying. Reminds me a lot of what Bernie Sanders was saying. Reminds me a lot of what Democrats.
The Gavin Newsom is a much more polished politician than Tim Walz. Tim Walz is sinking right now in this conversation. He can't keep up. See? This ain't about Steve Bannon. It's about people that think like Steve. The point is, they don't get why Trump beat their ass. Trump beat their ass because he knows how to talk that language that will make a person, obviously, because it worked. You ain't got to agree. You can say, I don't agree. How'd he win then? Now who's an election denier? Who's a reality denier, right? So Gavin Newsom's showing Tim Walz ain't ready. Yeah, Kamala wasn't holding you back. Maybe she was. Maybe she was. You weren't ready for prime time. You ain't even ready for Gavin Newsom time. You ain't ready for Gavin Newsom time. You ain't ready for this. These moves, baby. This is the Jack Tripper going to the Regal Beagle. This is you. Mr. Farley. Somebody know what I'm talking about. This the Raj, I'm ready for Gavin Newsom to hit him with the Raj joint. All right.
Said 20, 30 years ago. I mean, he's arguing
he hates
against
Musk, right? He hates
Musk. He hates the oligarchy. He totally agrees with you on the concentration of monopolists.
It's not about Steve Bannon. Fuck Steve Bannon. It's about talking about things that working people that don't have a trust fund, people that are concerned if they're going to be able to pay for the AC bill. It's about to hit their ass coming because it's about to warm up. Or people that want to put a new roof on their house need to put a new roof on their house because they need it because it's starting to leak. Like, understanding these types of problems. They don't care about you. About you misgendered somebody accidentally. Oh no, crucify him. That ain't what's important, goofy. Terms like Latinx ain't important. Gavin's right. He knows what he's talking about. He's saying the right thing. I don't know what he believes. I don't care what he believes. No, we never know what someone really believes, do we? Do we ever really know? But this guy, Tim Walz, looks like Gavin Newsom's grandpa. Jesus Christ.
Powers. He completely dismisses the notion that we should extend the tax cuts for corporations and the very wealthy. He thinks we should lower taxes for the middle class and wants to see increased taxes.
I can't mess.
Sounds like Gavin Newsom's running to get Steve Bannon to be his number 2. Like, what's going on here? So you got to convince Tim Walz that Gavin Newsom's okay. Like, he didn't, what's going on? He wanted to go on a date. Tim Walz and Steve Bannon. What's going on? You just set them up? What is this? Pop the balloons? Somebody gonna start popping balloons next, huh? Matchmaker, Gavin Newsom, the matchmaker. Let's see, Richard Dawkins. I forget my man. Eubanks. George Eubanks.
Message to misogynists. I can't message that women shouldn't have equal.
But I think if we say people are misogynist, then we're falling prey. We're in that frame. Not everybody that disagrees with us is a misogynist, even those that, but I think this notion of toxicity in masculinity needs to be separated. And I think it's been conflated.
Tim Walz getting schooled. He got housed. This must be the Newsom show. Because he just bodied you. This is when Tim Walz acts like his internet connection went out. Oh, shit. I don't know what happened. Hello? Hello? I can't hear you. I'm a knucklehead. I lost my connection. I'm sorry. Something happened here. I'm sorry. Gotta go. Gavin, sorry. Something happened. I spilled my milkshake on my modem. I'm sorry. Something happened. Tim, we can still see you. Tim, did you do it on purpose? Are you just trying to get out of the conversation? Are you trying to get out of the conversation when you don't want to?
And I think we're going to have to work on that a little bit. And I think there is a crisis.
I think some of us scare them.
men.
I think I scare them a little bit why they spend so much time on that.
This dude said somebody spend much time on you. Nah, Tim, no. You scared of kids, Tim. Yeah, Timmy, you scared of kids. The politicians, they're not scared of you. They're scared of what you do with the kids. Yeah, that's what the scary is. How are we doing, guys? It's almost 1 o'clock, 12:30. I think they're done here, Johnson. Even if they're not, I'm done with them. How about that? How about we do done with that? All right, guys, I think that's all we got tonight. That's it for tonight. Look. Let me know what you think in the comment section, man. Hit the like button on this. I think this was a good segment. I think we did well. I think this is gonna do pretty well when I put it out as a separate clip. These separate clips, I think people will be feeling it. Very interesting. Very interesting. Let's go to the comment section, y'all. Let's see what we got. Who's in the house tonight? I tell you, Black Mama's in the house. Thank you, Black Mama, for supporting the show, as well as Trust No Party and the one and only Spice Radio. Thank you, Spice Radio 504 from the 504, I'm assuming. Thank you for your support of the Tim Black Show. All right, Johnson. Thank you. Man, I get to tell you, man, I got to find out. For something's telling me that somewhere over there, people are talking about the Tim Black Show. Yeah, let me know. Just be my feelers out there. I think someone's talking about the show. Something's going on. I think the word is going out about the show. Let me know, because I'm not across the internet all the time. You're doing a lot of research, but I think something's going on here. But you guys let me know what you're thinking, what you're feeling. Remember, you can always reach me at tim@timblacktv.com. We do this every day except Saturday and Tuesday. So we'll be off tomorrow. I'll be back on Sunday, and I hope to see you here. Remember, the mug is available at timblackmug.com. That's where you go to get the mug. And also, what else? Oh, yeah, damn. That's right. Don't let anybody take your cornbread, Johnson. That's your cornbread. Keep your cornbread, folks. Don't play games with them. All right? And with that, as always, I got to ask, where are my ladies? Where are my ladies? There they go.